With the start of the Ukrainian counteroffensive in Russia-Ukraine war, there has been great activity on the front line. As we mentioned in our previous reports, the movement has changed the points of control at many points. Let's take a look at the latest developments on the map. With the start of Ukraine's counterattack, we observed an increase in the frequency of reporting by Russian sources. These sources used to report on Russian military activity and kept silent about the attacks organized by the Ukrainian army. In recent days, however, Russian sources have been making frequent statements about the Ukrainian counteroffensive, calling on the Russian government to take urgent measures. In recent days, according to the Russian sources, the Ukrainian army has increased its activity around Orikhiv in Zaporizhia Oblast. According to Russian reports, a serious battlefield has emerged around Orikhiv, involving both infantry and tanks. As you can see on the map, Orikhiv, which is the focal point of the Ukrainian army, has a very strategic importance for the liberation of the Ukrainian territories under Russian occupation. The highway lines passing through the city reach many cities, especially Mariupol and Melitopol. There is also a railroad line in the city that extends to Mariupol. We observe that Ukrainian attacks in and around Orikhiv come from Robotyne, located south city. Here, Russian sources have a very remarkable claim. The Ukrainian troops who have organized a blitzkrieg operation in the region have been conducting their operations in this area only late at night. According to the claims of Russian sources, the reason behind these operations being carried out at night is the night vision goggles among the military support provided to Ukraine. In fact, it is quite possible to argue that the focus of the war has largely shifted in recent days to the Dnieper River and its surroundings, i.e., the southern region of Ukraine. This theory is based on the fact that many important Ukrainian operations have been concentrated in Zaporizhia Oblast. Likewise, the spokesperson of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry made a statement supporting this theory. Ukrainian Defense Ministry spokesperson Hanna Maliar made a statement about the counterattack. Maliar made the following statement. Our troops in the south of Ukraine continue to carry out operations at several points simultaneously. We are in an active offensive position along the entire front line. When we look at the front line, we see that important developments on the southern front line are taking place in and around Vasilivka. As you can see on the map, Vasilivka is located on the eastern bank of Dnieper River. The city was repeatedly targeted by the Ukrainian troops even before the Ukrainian counteroffensive began. It is also a key to a liberation of southern Ukraine, which Russia controls. Now let's take a look at the Lobkov, which lies to northeast of this city. There are reports of several active clashes in Lobokov-Pyatikhatki area, which borders Zaporizhia Oblast. According to reports, the Ukrainian Defense Forces has made a major advance in the direction of Pyatikhatki. Around the small town of Pyatikhatki, clashes between the Russian occupation forces and the Ukrainian Defense Forces continue. Looking at the map from a wide angle, we can see that this point is very close to Orikhiv. If we take into account the clashes in Orikhiv and Pyatikhatki, we can say that the Ukrainian army has increased its offensive activities at these 2 points in order to gain outposts on the eastern bank of Dnieper River. Ukrainian dominance in this region is critical for the ongoing liberation operations on the eastern bank of the river. From a board perspective, we can state that the main goal of these attacks is to open a corridor to city center of Zaporizhia and Donetsk. In order for the Ukrainian army to reach these two cities, it needs to have a control point on the eastern bank of the river. As we mentioned earlier, according to latest reports, the Ukrainian army's pressure on these two city centers has increased considerably. Zaporizhia city center is under intense pressure from Ukrainian infantry, and Donetsk city center is under intense pressure from the Ukrainian artillery. The latest reports from local sources in Zaporizhia city center claims that the Ukrainian infantry has advanced about 300 to 350 meters in the direction of the city center. In the past few days, the Ukrainian army has taken control of Neskuchny in Donetsk Oblast. Now it is possible to say that the Ukrainian army is doing an area cleaning based on points located in the southern direction of this village. When we look at south of Neskuchny, we see Struzhevi point. According to the latest information from local sources, the Ukrainian army has also gained control in the village of Struzhevi. Operations in the region are expected to expand to include other points south of Struzhevi. Urikhiv, southeast of Donetsk city center, has also become a focal point of fierce fighting. This region is approximately 80 kilometers from Donetsk city center. According to the latest reports, Russian troops have withdrawn to this east of region as a result of increasing pressure from the Ukrainian army. According to unconfirmed reports from local sources, the Ukrainian army has largely taken control of the Ostromayorsky area northwest of the Urikhiv. Local sources say that there is a conflict triangle here. This triangle includes the aforementioned Ostromayorsky, Urikhiv, and Zavitsny. When we look at these 3 points, we see that they are located just south of Makarivka, which the Ukrainian army recently liberated from Russian occupation, and that they are heading south along the small river line. We have mentioned many times before that the Ukrainian army intends to open a corridor to Mariupol. As you can see, this line, where the attacks are concentrated, is one of the closest points to Mariupol and also one of the points where the Russian army is less concentrated. It is possible to argue that the ongoing Ukrainian offensive here will emerge with the Ukrainian offensive starting from Vuhledar and moving in the southern direction. And of course, we cannot conclude our report without sharing the latest developments on the Bakhmut line. In the city of Bakhmut, which is a symbol of the war, we are witnessing the increasing pressure of the Ukrainian army in recent days. According to the latest reports, as part of the Ukrainian counteroffensive, Ukrainian troops have advanced about 200 to 500 meters in the direction of Bakhmut city center. When we look at the focus of the operations in the city of Bakhmut, we see that the attacks in the direction of Orikhiv. In Orikhiv, which is an important part of the operation to encircle Bakhmut, the relentless struggle between Ukrainian and Russian troops continues unabated. According to the latest reports, the advantage in the area is largely in favor of the Ukrainian army. What do you think? Do you think the Ukrainian army will be able to continue its advance on the southern front line? Will the Ukrainian army's gains on the southern front line be enough to open Mariupol corridor? Is it possible for the Ukrainian army to maintain its dominance in the captured territories? Will we see the decisive Ukrainian victory in Bakhmut? We value your opinion. Please share them with us.